Alright. Alright, looks like everything's working. Up and running. Alright, I've got this this 9-card spread I've been developing for a while. And I know there's a bunch of spreads out there, but it's a lot of fun to make your own spreads. And come up with your own way to interpret them. Hello, Phantom. Here we are. Got us all set up and ready to go. I got us all shuffled. I set everything up. So all we have to do now is actually draw cards and read, and figure out how to read it. Because there are so many ways to read this spread. It's pretty ridiculous. I think I have enough room here. We'll see. These cards are kind of large. Just kind of shuffle through them and pick whatever ones like my fingers happen to stop on. I never just dole them out from the top. It's always like me messing around and just fiddling with it, figuring out where I want to take the card from. I figure the more I touch the cards, the better chance I have of getting good energy on it. So I'll just be able to fit this down here. So at the very least, I can make it fit. Alright. It's just a block. That's really all it is. You have all of these cards can be read. Now they can be read any which way. So that's really where the challenge comes in, because you can read the top 3, you can read the middle 3, you can read the bottom 3, you can do the same thing this way, and you can even have them read diagonally. So really it depends on what you want to know about you. They all have like different angles. Like the top 3 are the pretty standard ones here. Let me see. Yeah, it's these top 3 manifest as the instinct, the impulse, and the understanding. So that's to give you an idea of like how they're separated. Now, down here, just to read from the top and the bottom, this one down here is the fear, the panic, and the despair. Let's see, we've got a nice standard reading on these 3 cards. It's the beginning, the climax, the end. You know, so there's a bunch of different ways to read this. Over here you've got the drive, the ambition, and the dream. And when you start crossing them, let's see, you got the diagonals, which if we were reading it this way, it would be the mind, the heart, and the soul. That's a good one. And then for this diagonal, you've got the need, the desire, and the thought. So there's like a bazillion ways to read this. I can literally send you I think I sent it to you before, the standard makeup. It's a little confusing. Oh man, I don't know if it fits on. I think I took a picture for you last time or something. Do you still have it? Because if you have the picture, then oh, cool. So yeah, so you already know. You know what it looks like. But it was good for us to give a little tutorial to the audience about the basic, how things, interact. So, what are you interested in having read? Like, are there 3 that jump out at you? Are there 6 that jump out at you? Like, how many of these cards resonate with you? Okay. Now that makes sense. That's really interesting. All right. With that in mind, we'll start the reading from the top. We'll go with the impulse, the desire, and the panic, and then after that, we'll read the climax, the desire and the ambition, which is interesting because it looks like I think you've hit 2 that actually key on desire, which is very interesting. So let's see what the impulse is. Oh, interesting. That is a card I've never seen before, which is always super fun because it means that this isn't a card that shows up for me, when I read for me. So it's something that definitely shows up for other people. That's very interesting. It's always cool to know. Let's see what this guy's information is going to tell us. If I can get to the U's, there we go. Alright. He's a pretty cool looking dude. Looks like a goblin or something. Let's see. Oh, he has no rank. I see. Interesting. Works as the equivalent of the infernal maintenance industry. His job is the upkeep of the oil and the boilers that heat the entirety of the underworld. Oh, interesting. Alright, for divination, for the impulse, let's see here. Beware of taking workers for granted. Non-management workers in retail, construction service, and other industries may sometimes seem invisible, but those individuals are essential to a smoothly running society. Okay, alright. Yep, closer to home, take care to appreciate those individuals working under your leadership. Oh, interesting. Oh, interesting. Well, that clears it up a little bit. The impulse. Alright, okay. Wow. Do you think that maybe it's your impulse to take the reins when you see other people making mistakes around you? At the very least, I see that being applicable. That's very interesting. Alright. Let's see, the next one is the desire, of course, which it's going to be the same for both on the cross, which looks like another interesting individual. Look at that. Pickles. Interesting dude. Let's see. Otherwise known as Peckles, an old Prussian demon. Okay. Comparable to the mythology of Hades. Interesting. Huh. Well, him being in the desire slot is pretty interesting because the divination for him is beware of long-standing or family feuds, of allowing old resentments to linger past the time when anyone remembers what started the dispute. Okay, that's pretty funny because I would expect this guy to show up in my spread, and I don't think he ever has. but it's still funny that he shows up for you, because I feel like, again, you know, it applies a little bit. It applies just a little bit. There's definitely things... I mean, I know there's things I'm still angry about, so I'm sure there's things you're still angry about. And some of them are role-playing related. Let's see here. The Panic. Ooh, this will be interesting. Oh, man. What a cool-looking demon that I very much doubt is actually a demon. This guy looks like he's inspired by something totally different. Torngarsuk, okay. Which has many other spellings, of course. Again, is not strictly a demon, but rather an Inuit deity whose native lands are the skies and the caves of Greenland and some northern parts of North American continent. Oh, man. So he's actually just an Inuit god that got translated into a demon, which, you know, in this book, several things have that same thing happen. So it's a trend. When Christians don't understand something, they demonize it. So it's very interesting. But Panic, okay, so this is tied to Panic. The divination on this is, oh, this is hilarious. So, focus on strength and positive thinking, even when in poor health. Man, why hasn't this guy fucking shown up for me? Like, yeah, he applies to you, but he applies to me too. Like, holy crap. What an interesting creature. I'm gonna have to do a drawing of him, because he's really cool. That is cool. Alright, we've got the climax, the desire, and the ambition. We already know the desire. We already understand his thing. It's going to be interesting to see how he interacts with the other two. So, let's see what this is. Oh, Volok. Alright, I've definitely gotten him before. He's, it seems that way a little bit, right? You know? But I feel like it still applies, you know? I feel like these things, in their own way, do apply to you. You know, we both have our bouts of non-positive thinking. But yes, it's funny. Like I said, I've never pulled any of these cards for me. So, it's interesting. I normally pull cards that have to do with other aspects of my personality that I really wish, you know, it wouldn't do. So I'll do a reading for me after to just to get the point across, because I guarantee I'll see cards I've seen before. But here, let's see about Volok. Volok's a pretty cool looking dude. He kind of looks like just a cherub demon, honestly. Or he rides a dragon, I guess. Let's see. President of Hell. Command of 30 Infernal Legions. Interesting. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I do remember this guy. Beware of underestimating soft-spoken or mild-mannered individuals. Many capable individuals are easily overlooked because they are quiet. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's something everyone does, you know? It's one of those things that whenever I draw it for me, I definitely don't like seeing it, because I'm always confused. I'm like, who am I not acknowledging? I'm like people I don't want to acknowledge, because there are certain people in my life I just will not acknowledge, okay? And I don't care that they're soft-spoken, you know? And I understand that they're an intelligent individual. I just don't want to be around them for whatever reason, you know? But, that's just one of those things I think all of us are guilty of. Let's see, that's the climax, huh? That's interesting. And that being with Pigolas, that's even more interesting. Let's see. The ambition. Alright, I wonder what this is gonna be. Oh. It usually confuses me too, and so that's why I usually try really hard to, not in real life, but you have characters that might be, and sometimes these things are about just as much the struggles within. That's true. That's true. But think about just not people but also fictional characters, and anything that might be going on within. Let's see, the Witch's Round is the next one, the Ambition. Oh, that's pretty interesting, because I think this is a pretty positive draw, because I've seen it before. Yep. Okay, this one. And this being the Ambition, this is hilarious. This is hilarious, and I feel like this is really accurate for you, because it's supposed to be a representation of the Dance of the Sabbat, but for witches, the divination is focus on celebration and performance, creative routines with fellow professionals. I don't know. What are we doing right now? We're doing a few creative things. And we're definitely trying really hard to celebrate them, that's for sure. That's pretty funny. It's hilarious to me that the Beware of Long-Standing or Family Feuds one is in your desired placement, because I feel like you and me both have issues with certain people, and we probably should let it go. Torn Garsic was really interesting. So this is just a really interesting spread to have come up with, because these are all cards that I just generally don't see. Volok really is the only one I've seen, and Witch's Round I've seen once before. And I'm always thrilled to see. I'm like, yay, cool, I get to focus on art. That's rad. So that's interesting. So I will pack this up and then get the other cards. And split them up here. Slip them back in. And shuffle it and do it for me. We'll do it because this is a spread that, this is the first time I'm testing the spread, so I'm interested to see what it will show for me. And I don't know, I'm going to have to really think about what 3 I want read, but I usually stick to 3. But I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see once I've got the cards set up what I feel like doing. But generally speaking, I always shuffle the deck 3 times. I have this thing in my head about mocking the Trinity, since it's a demon deck, I figure they appreciate it. Alright, let's see here. Let's see how cards are going to be drawn for me. Alright, let's see what I want to read for me. What is jumping out at me? I think I am going to read these standard 3 over here. The Drive, the ambition, the dream. I don't know why. That just jumped out at me immediately. So, let's see what I've got going on. Leonard, I swear I've seen you before. If I read this divination and I know it, I'm going to be so annoyed. Because this deck just loves to tell you things you don't want to hear. It's what you need to hear, but you don't want to hear it. This guy's a pretty cool looking dude. Okay, I don't know if I've drawn him before, but I think I've read his divination before, and I was like, oh man, don't show up. Let's see here. Beware of fawning for attention from authority figures or superiors for no other reason than their position. Yeah, don't be a suck-up. That's how I manipulate, though, damn it. I haven't had a real job in a while, though, but... Alright, the drive. That's my drive. Oh, God, you're so right. Why? PhD. What is, I see a new person in the chat, but I'm not sure what your question means. Let's see. That is just hilarious. Just hilarious. I can't believe. Okay. It's closely associated with European witchcraft. Interesting. But that's so funny. That's on my drive. Are you kidding me? That's how I excelled in the workplace. Sucking up to, what did I say? What did I freaking say? Okay, we've got an entire deck of cards in there, okay? And I'm like, I've seen Volek before, he's been in my spreads before, I know him every time I see him, I'm not happy about it. I laughed because he was in your spread, and because I laughed, he showed up in mine. Because that's just how this deck is. It's just too funny. God. Beware of underestimating soft-spoken or mild-mannered individuals. Yeah, I know. I have a tendency to do that. I have... and whether it's characters or real people, I don't know. I try really hard to give my characters the attention they deserve, but, there's so many of them. But with people, I'm guilty of this with people all day long. The ambition. God, that's my ambition. Jeez, man. You're making me look bad here. Alright. What's my dream? Come on. Redeem me in some way. Oh, here is a card I've actually never seen before. Not for myself, not for other people. So that is always fun. Because... Thank you, Phantom. I appreciate it. Let's see here. I have never encountered this guy. Apparently, he's a demon of which we know very little. Great. He's just mentioned in an undated book called Moralité, published in Normandy. He is said to be a companion of Satan, and he carries a basket of souls. Souls of curmudgeons. Okay, interesting. I've never seen this guy before. Alright. Focus on seeing past the harsh armor of age and experience. Many sharp or grumpy individuals are simply harsh because life has taught them to expect the worst of others, so they show the worst of themselves first. So I haven't seen this guy before, but I have a feeling that I will see him in spreads of mine later on, because that is just so hilarious. I'm as guilty of being that type of person as I am of being distastefully, turned away from people like that because, when someone appears like an asshole right off the bat, I just tend to not like them. Of course, I always have the second thought later. I'm like, well, what if they're in pain? What if they have issues? I have issues. Sometimes I have bad days, and I just don't respond well to people, Gotta give people their leeway. Why? I'm telling you, this thing just likes to tell you things that you don't want to hear. It's a hilarious deck. Hilarious messages. This is just too funny. It's just too funny. You show up, you little bastard. Oh, God. Well, that was fun. That was interesting. I think this is totally a functional spread. Your read was really cool. I think the X read would be really cool, too. Any of the three are just freaking awesome. So this is definitely a cool thing. This is, take a look at yourself and take a look at what's going on in your head and, maybe, reanalyze yourself and get on a better path. It's always trying to point out things I shouldn't be doing. It becomes clear. It becomes clear. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Oh, we can try that again sometime. That's the cool thing. So, anytime we can do that, like, next week. That'll be fine. Alright, thanks for tuning in.